Hello everybody and welcome to the sixth part of What If Naruto Left Konoha with his Uzumaki uncle. I hope you enjoy this What If. Also don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest episodes. Ch8 New Day. Naruto groaned as light shot into his eyes from his window, disrupting his sleep. His head pierced with pain, holding it did nothing to stop the noise and light from consuming him. After yesterday's fight he wasn't exactly feeling cheery today, much less wanting to get out of bed. And if this was any indication of what Kenshi was going to put him through, he wasn't going to have a fun time. After a moment a voice infiltrated his mind and he noticed a figure by the door leaning on it. Kenshi pointed towards his jumpsuit. "Come on, we are going shopping." Naruto nodded, slowly getting up and putting on his orange jumpsuit as Kenshi left the room, taking his time and trying to stretch out most of the knots that had formed since yesterday. Putting the final touches on his outfit, he stopped at the picture of Team 7, remembering the days when they got along, or at least didn't bother each other. They never truly got along, although when they needed to the team was one, but when it was just them, there was no connection keeping them together. He knew that now. He then compared it to his new team. Midori seemed alright, his personality needs some work, but he was a good person to have in combat. Kasai was really cool, she is always smiling and trying to cheer everyone up, but on the battlefield her personality did a full turnaround. He chuckled before leaving the room. Maybe I do belong here. Stepping out of his room slowly he went into the kitchen, following a familiar smell, and his eyes widened at the cup that waited for him on the counter. Kenshi already sitting on the table eating what looked to be eggs but were slightly charred, a slightly hidden apron in the corner of the kitchen that read, "Kiss the cook, oh glorious blackmail." Now noticing his figure, Kenshi gestured towards the instant ramen cup. "Dig in. Nice eggs." "Hey, I never said I was a good cook." Naruto wasted no time as he hastily ate his ramen. Taking short breaths while inhaling his food to talk to Kenshi. "Hey, I have been thinking." "Oh, that's not a good sign." Shooting out a piercing glare, Naruto continued to speak. "Well, Midori has his shuriken and his blue blades, Kasai has her lance, and you've got that sword. Where is my awesome weapon?" Kenshi smiled as he sat with Naruto. "I have something in mind, but you will get it later." "Why?" "You are still too inexperienced, later you will receive your prize." Naruto nodded as he finished his cup, sighing happily. "Alright, at least I know I am getting something. I can't wait." Kenshi nodded and stood up as Naruto turned to him. "Where are we going?" A loud clip was sounded as Kenshi attached his sword to his side and rolled his shoulders. "Like I said, we are going shopping." "This isn't what I thought you meant." Naruto stood outside the shop staring into its dark abyss as people passed him by. The unholy sight that plagued him since birth was now only a few feet in front of him. The fear that filled his being was of nothing he felt before. Naruto would have rather faced 10 Garas than continue on to this place, a retail store. They stood outside the clothing store as sunlight hit the village, giving it a more vibrant look as people moved around in their daily lives. Naruto shook his head at the store, fearing what was in and holding his jumpsuit as if someone was going to take it, which was probably true. Kenshi held his head in frustration. "Come on, you would rather wear the kill me jacket. I'll see that you something cool, and plus you kind of have to." "Huh." He pointed towards his silver chest piece adorned with the Uzumaki crests on his shoulders and chest. "You notice that all Uzumaki members wear armor. It's almost like a symbol that we took from the Senju and made it our own to distinguish ourselves and carry on their will, in a way. We are here because they already have your armor piece on hold, and while we are here we are going to get you some new clothes." Naruto held his chin before nodded, still looking dejected. "Alright, let's see what you can do." "Oh no, I am not going to do anything." "What?" Naruto's eyes widened as Kasai walked out of the store and smiled at him. "Oh, this is going to be too much fun. Thanks for agreeing to this, I couldn't stand that much orange." Naruto's eyes bulged with fear. "I agreed to this." Kenshi shrugged, but he still couldn't suppress a smirk. "You did come along." Naruto yelled in fear as he was dragged off by Kasai into the store. "Don't let her do this to me. I love my orange. I like my comfort zone." "No." Kenshi only waved and walked off as Naruto was dragged off into the store, screaming his head off. Naruto stared at himself in the mirror at the dressing room, taking a good look at himself as Kasai stood next to him, hands on her hips. "I don't know about this." Kasai sighed. "Trust me, for the 1000th time you look fine." Naruto grimaced. After 3 hours of trying to remove his orange jumpsuit, she finally got him into his new clothes. His jumpsuit was gone and was replaced and was now black jacket with no sleeves and the Uzumaki crest emblazed in red on his back. It was unzipped to reveal a dark orange undershirt, along with black and orange vertical single-stripped pants with a large kunai holder on his side. His shoes were traded out and now were black boots. If you say so. Naruto still shook his head as Kasai handed him a large box, slightly straining to even pick it up. What is this? It's your armor piece, better not damage it. He won't say it, but it cost a fortune. Naruto nodded and opened the box with glee. Inside were 2 large gauntlets that seemed to cover the entire length of his arms. One was neon orange, much to Naruto's liking. It also carried 2 shoulder guards and gloves that fit the spots where the gauntlets missed. The left gauntlet was solid black and smooth, looking like it could absorb and strike some heavy blows. While the right was neon orange and had spikes coming out of it, mainly used for offense or catching blades maybe. The gloves were also pure black with the Uzumaki crest on the back in red. Naruto picked up one of the gauntlets and struggled to get them on, muttering to himself as the clips would come unattached instantly as he put them on. Kasai sighed and shook her head. Here, let me help. Naruto stood still as Kasai ran around Naruto, clipping the guards into place. A chill ran through his body as Kasai ran her hands around Naruto's arm, clipping the metal into place. Kasai smiled as she clipped on the final pieces on his shoulders. All right, you're good. It is supposed to grow with you, much like the other Uzumaki's armor, so you won't need refitting. How did he even know my sizes? Sometimes I even wonder at what that man knows. Naruto turned back towards the mirror, feeling out the joints on the bracers, swinging his arms and moving them around, punching the air. This is awesome. Well, that is the only time I am putting them on for you, so find out how to do that. Also, we are going to meet Midori at the ramen stand again, come on. Kasai left the building as Naruto nodded and quickly following as he carried a bag containing his jumpsuit, running towards Kasai trying to keep up. Tsunade sighed. Why are we still talking about this? He is not to be trained. The one thing she really didn't want to talk about this week had full-on hit her in the face today by this meeting. After signing tons of documents coming in from the other ninja villages wondering about the new Uzushiogakure and Kenshi himself, she really didn't want to be here right now. Her rather happier place would have been at the end of a bottle, not discussing the one thing she wanted to put off. Danzo showed no emotion as he spoke with his usual calculating voice. We have to train the Uchiha. He is the only one left and could be a great asset to the Leaf. Shikaka shook his head and his face showed disappointment. So let's just forget that he tried to leave and put 6 of our ninja and 3 of the Sans in danger. Tsum turned to Shikaku almost with anger, but he was under the effects of the curse mark, he told us himself, and why should I believe that Naruto brat anyway? He brought Sasuke back half dead. So you are going to believe a boy that just tried to leave over the one that fought him with his life at the valley to get said ninja back? Tsum glared at Shikaka before continuing, then let's put it to a vote on if we should train the boy and let him become a ninja again. Tsunade's heart sank when the majority of the council voted that he should be re-enlisted as a Leaf Nin. Danzo smiled at his victory and daring to take it further he spoke, I also want him automatically promoted as a Chunin. I don't think that is possible. The group turned as Kenshi stood in the doorway with several ANBU face down on the ground. They didn't seem dead, only unconscious. How did you get here? He laughed and waved his arms uncaringly. Don't worry, I am not really here, I am just a clone. But if all of you had read the report that Tsunade gave you about our village's deal with the others, you know that it is impossible to promote the boy until he passes the exams. Danzo turned to him, and why not, and why should we listen to you? Last time you were here you made a mockery of this council and now you have eliminated several ANBU. Because 1, my Yuzakage had heard about what had happened here and specifically told me not to let you promote the boy outside of the exams. 2, I warned them not to speak of Naruto like they did, but hey. 3, they attacked me first, I only asked to be allowed in here. And 4, it is not necessary, you have other nin that are more qualified than the Uchiha. Like your son, for one, Shibi, he is just about as smart as Shikamaru and he has the ability to lead. Along with him should be Niji Hyuga. The council started whispering as Danzo knew he was fighting a losing battle and faced Kenshi, but he is the last of his clan, he should be promoted anyway. If he is as strong as you say, let him compete. Show to us how powerful the last Uchiha is. Danzo grimaced as the council began muttering approvals of this. Kenshi turned towards Hayashi. I would like to speak with you privately after this. Danzo turned to the council. Then we will train the boy for the exams. Kakashi, you will train him. All eyes turned to the man who seemed to appear in the room as he continued to read his book while speaking. No, I will not train traitors or those that betray their friends. I already let down my sensei enough. I won't continue to disgrace his name. Danzo showed no emotion as he spoke again. Then how will the boy be trained in the Sharingan? Not my problem. Hello again, Kenshi. Good to see you to Kakashi. Danzo grimaced at Kakashi's statement. I was hoping that he would take care of that for me, but I will have to train the boy myself, it seems. Kenshi turned towards the council as his form started to disappear. This will be the last time I contact you until the exams. I only came to speak with the Hyuga, but coming here first was a good idea, I guess. And Swanda, Naruto says hello. Kenshi's form vanished as Tsunade smiled and clasped her hands together. Good to know you are safe, Gaki. Well, this meeting is over then. I need something to drink. Sasuke stood on the edge of his ruined home as the moon hovered above. His eyes blazed with hatred as he made another Chidori in his hands. Still thinking about that day and how Naruto could have been that powerful. He slammed it into the side of the building, making the entire wall crash down, sending the sound throughout the complex. He held his head, wonder how he could be from such a powerful clan. His hate rose for the boy. Why is he so special? First him being the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, being trained by one of the 3 legendary Sannin, and now being from a clan that is as powerful as the Uchiha. No, there is no clan better than mine. Naruto is weak and I will see to that. I am an elite, I am an Uchiha. Sasuke jumped back as a figure stood next to him. The man seemed to just appear next to him, but no one had that type of stealth. The Sharingan should have caught him. What happened? He placed a cane down and spoke with an emotionless voice. Hello, Sasuke. Sasuke started at the man with hate and curiosity in his eyes. Who are you? My name is Danzo. I am here to train you and help with your Sharingan. Sasuke scoffed. He had heard of this cripple and there was no power behind him. The only one with the Sharingan in the village besides me is Kakashi. Danzo walked towards the boy, his cane hitting the ground with a loud thump each time, sending the sound through the complex. He would not train you. He saw you as a disgrace. He shouldn't have even gotten the honor to train you. But to say that he is the only one with the Sharingan is a lie. He pulled up the bandages over his right eye as Sasuke looked in shock. I also know how much you want to hurt that friend of yours, Naruto. I can help you make him suffer and help you revive your clan at the same time. I can help make the Uchiha strong again. Sasuke looked at the man's Sharingan as his flashed as well. 2 conditions. 1. I want Naruto's head on a plate after this is done. 2. I want Hinata Hyuga. The Dobe loves her and I would love the pleasure of taking her away from him. After I am done with you, Naruto won't stand a chance. And that girl will be yours. Sasuke's eyes gleamed with pure hatred as the moon shined down on the two, their eyes not leaving one another. Hayashi glared at the man who stood across his office. The moonlight shined off Kenshi's armor as he paced slowly across the room. I still have no idea what he wants to talk about, but the way he moves seems like he is nervous for some reason. He hasn't shown any harmful intent unless someone disgraces Naruto, so I best stay off that subject, but just in case. He activated his Byakugan and turned to the man. Know whatever you are going to say, I will know if you lie to me. Kenshi nodded understandingly and sat down in front of Hayashi on one of the many mats that covered the room. What I have to say includes my nephew Naruto Uzumaki and your daughter Hinata Hyuga. Ch9 Secrets and Origins. Kenshi stood in front of the Uzukage as he completed his report on finding Naruto. Construction and noises of everyday life rang throughout the village as people continued on their day. Inside the room, however, was a deafening silence. Talking was never something that these two men ever wanted to do. Although as a father Kenshi felt like he had slipped, his Kage duty came first, as always. Their bond wasn't exactly close. They kept their distance from each other when they could and almost showed no signs of being father and son. But every once in a while, the bond would resurface. Both of them never liked the experience. Ayu sighed as the sun shined behind him. Tell me about Naruto's life, from what you have heard of it. Kenshi mentally freaked out. Oh great, how is he going to react when I tell him his entire life was made out of pain? Kenshi shifted his position and cleared his throat. Well, from what I heard, his childhood wasn't good. He was beaten, chased, burned, and everything else you can imagine had happened to him on multiple occasions. Apparently it was Minato's last wish to see that he was treated as a hero, but it seems like they did the polar opposite. Ayu's hands were gripping each other tighter and tighter as he spoke about his life. I can't believe how badly they treated him. If that village ever touches that boy again. Ayu calmed down a bit at Minato's name and raised his hand, stopping Kenshi. Please don't say his name again. You know how much I hate the man. Hate rose in Kenshi's gut as he continued to speak. Naruto grew up without much of any support. The village orphanage kicked him out when he was 5. He was overcharged from basic things like food, water, and even clothing. As a ninja he was barely respected even after defeating ninjas such as Zabuza's accomplice Haku, Gaara of the Desert, Niji Hyuga, and now Sasuke Uchiha. There was one who had supported Naruto from the start, even if it was from the shadows, a young girl by the name of Hinata Hyuga. Ayu chuckled at the young girl's name. A Hyuga never knew them to be kind. This one was the exception. Upon closer look you could see that the girl has a liking for Naruto, although he seems half oblivious to her feelings. Other clans tried to help Naruto, including Nara, Akimichi, Yamanaka, and Aburame, but from what I heard, that fool Sarutobi stopped them from doing so. But that just about wraps it up. Ayu nodded, taking special note of Hinata. I can't say that I am less than pleased with the way he was treated, but nothing we do can change it now. When we show up for the exams we will have to put on a happy face. I will not like it, but I will try to be polite. Kenshi smiled. I half expected you to blow up of anger. I am old. I don't have enough energy to blow up anymore, although I would like to. They laughed as the tension around them melted, but then set back as they realized what had happened. They stared at each other for a few moments until Kenshi bowed respectively. I will take my leave. He opened the door behind him as Ayu called out, I don't think of you as him, but I don't think I can forgive you either. I want to, but something in me just keeps remembering what choice you made. I could honor you as a hero but not as my son. It is halfway your fault that he lived like this. The door started to crack under Kenshi's grip as he spoke, but then released it and turned back to him. Don't worry, I regret that decision every day of my life. I am responsible for her death apparently. Ayu staggered a little as Kenshi left the room. I'm sorry son, but you should have brought her back. Maybe then things could have been different between us. Another tree fell before Kenshi as his blade glowed red. How dare he? He didn't know what choice I had to make. I did it as a brother. Each sentence ended with a tree falling as it crashed to the ground, making dust rise from the ground. He turned and saw a small pond. The reflection stared at him as woes ran through his mind. Kenshi's eyes widened as it started to mold from him to another person. Before it could finish morphing, Kenshi turned to it, wind style, vacuum blast. The puddle and the surrounding area were destroyed by the blast as Kenshi fell to the ground in pain. Get out of me. Black chakra seeped out of his body as it attacked the nearby trees, clearing out the field around him. It molded around his body as it seemed to protect him from the forest. He clutched his stomach as pain shot through his body. He grasped his sword with the last ounce of strength he had and collapsed on the ground. Water sounded throughout the space as Kenshi opened his eyes. At first glance it seemed like an empty sewer, but with a giant gate and a small paper seal attached to it. Hate, fear, and power could be felt throughout the place as Kenshi took in the silence. The sounds of metal clinking and footsteps could be heard as Kenshi walked up to the gate, and another seemed to appear on the opposite side. Kenshi stared at the man behind the gate. The darkness consumed him as he gripped one of the bars. How long do you expect to keep me here? Showing no fear, he faced the man as he held his sword, ready for battle. As long as I need to. The man chuckled as the sound seemed to echo around him. Your resolve is slipping. I will get out and you will die at my feet. Kenshi glared at the man as the seal on the wall seemed to glow. We will see about that. This seal is strong, it will hold you. A flash of power surged through the area as Kenshi laughed. Keep on trying. When you get out I would love to take you down. The man behind the bars unleashed his grip on the bar and turned around. Don't worry, I feel like my time is approaching soon. He enveloped himself in darkness as Kenshi turned into light. Kenshi looked around the area as he woke up. The forest seemed to move around him as he stood back up with his sword for support. Pain shot through his system as he rose to his feet. Groaning, the pill seemed to appear in his hands immediately. His sword radiated blue as it sent chakra pulses shooting through his body. The pill felt heavy as Kenshi quickly crunched it, sending a painful chill through his body. His sword stopped glowing and the black chakra seemed to flow back into his body. His eyes quickly scanned the area looking for any signs of life. A sigh escaped his lips as he put away his sword. He turned and noticed a small puddle by his feet. "You love mocking me, don't you?" Naruto, Kasai, and Midori sat in that order in the ramen stand. Naruto inhaled his addiction. Although it wasn't Ichiraku, it was still good. After their first visit, Naruto was eager to see what was under Midori's mask, but somehow he developed a jutsu so that way the food could pass through the mask. To say that Naruto was disappointed was an understatement. He also found out that Midori could keep up with him on eating ramen, so immediately they had a rivalry for eating the food. Kasai watched in awe and horror as the two boys piled bowl after bowl on the counter, neither stopping for even a breath. As the boys ate, the trio were somehow able to carry on a conversation between bowls. Naruto turned towards the two with him. "So how do you guys know Kenshi, or how did you come to the village?" Midori stopped eating and looked away as Kasai turned to him. "We were both from different clans. Believe it or not, our ancestors fought each other for generations. But one day a man with the Sharingan appeared. He called himself Madara and claimed that he needed us." She pointed towards Midori and herself. "We were only around 4 at the time. Our clans refused. He killed them all." Naruto's eyes widened at how easily Kasai spoke of this. It was like she wasn't affected by the incident at all. "None were left except us. One of the ninjas somehow escaped Madara's wrath and brought us to the cliff where he died of his wounds. Ayu and some other nin found us and brought us in. But Kenshi is our sensei. He was one of the ninja who saved us, even raised us slightly." Naruto nodded and noticed that Midori now had a tear running down his eye and decided to change the subject. "So how come it was only you two who trained with Kenshi? In your village there are 3 men teams, but here, since we are a bit short on ninja, there are 2 men teams, ours being one of them before you showed up." Naruto took note of the lack of malice in her voice as he turned his head at this. "What do you mean short on ninja?" A small laugh escaped the masked nin's face. "Our village is relatively weak right now. We only have so many jonin and chunin, even our genin rate is low. There is a reason that we need 2 years to prepare for the exam and that we are probably the only team that are going to take the exams." Naruto nodded slowly as he continued to eat his food. 20 bowls later, the two boys sat slumped over the counter, neither moving. Midori raised his hand, not bothering to lift his face from the table. "Check please." The blonde nin laughed, almost puking. "You give up?" "I never give up, you blonde freak. I just have to rest for a moment." Naruto laughed at his friend as he held his mouth again, stopping the food from reaching his mouth. Kasai watched the two boys as they continued their little fight. "This will be an interesting few years." She laughed and patted the boys on the back. "Well, this was fun, but I got to go. I will see you both later." The two seemed to heal faster as they watched the girl leave the stand. Midori sighed and paid the bill, turning to Naruto. "I like the new duds." Naruto smiled and moved his arms a little. "They are pretty cool. I hope it doesn't do anything about my abilities in combat though." Midori shook his head. "No, those things are built to take hits. They should be used to block things more than attack, so they shouldn't be in the way. Think of it like a weight almost." They exited the store and the two began to walk through the village. "So listen, I was wondering, do you know why the village hates Kenshi so much?" Midori shook his head. "No, he doesn't like to talk about it and we don't ask. We just back him up if he gets into trouble and help distribute the villagers if need be. He won't attack them, he loves the village too much." He nodded understandingly as he realized how much this village might have treated Kenshi like the leaf treats him. A large grin graced Naruto's face as he turned to Midori again. "So, anyone you like?" Midori stared at his new friend as Naruto wiggled his eyebrows in suspense. His eyes closed halfway as Midori sighed. "I am not the type to gossip, Naruto." "Oh come on, can't you give me a hint?" A killer intent shot through Midori's eyes as he turned to Naruto. "Not at this present moment, Naruto, nor any moment." "Oh come on, what about Kasai?" Midori laughed. "She would kill me before I even asked. But no, we are friends, nothing more, nothing less." Naruto nodded, knowing that he was probably not going to get anything else from the guy. "How long have you guys known each other?" "For as long as I can remember. To think that if Madara hadn't done what he did, we wouldn't be here now. Hell, we may have been fighting each other. But if he does show his face again, I will kill him." Naruto could practically see the rage coming off from Midori. Hell, he was angry when he found out that the Kyuubi took his parents from him, but this was a new type of anger. They continued to walk in silence as Midori caught a few glances thrown at Naruto from a few villagers as they worked on construction. Killer intent was thrown at the men as they turned away, not wanting to deal with the construct ninja. Midori wasn't really known outside of the village, but he was a force that not many wanted to face if you somehow got him angry. His stare returned to its normal tiredness as he came back to Naruto. How can someone not go crazy from the amount of hate that has been driven towards him? Midori's mind seemed to go to another place and a white-haired man appeared in front of the duo. He returned to reality and waved towards the man in a lazily fashion. "Hey Jiraiya-sensei." Jiraiya laughed loudly and pointed towards the blonde nin. "See Naruto, that is respect, might want to learn it sometime." Naruto mumbled to himself as Jiraiya turned to the two of them. "Come on, let's find Kasai and begin our training today." The group nodded as they sped off to find their comrade. Sasuke's fist hit the tree again as wood burst in every direction and the tree was sent falling down. Hate seeped through him as he attacked the tree. Feelings of pure loathing were felt as he attacked the tree. The pain didn't matter, in time it would be a feeling foreign to him. And then a feeling he wouldn't know altogether. The forest seemed to close in on the boy as he attacked the next tree, repeatedly sending blood from his hands and wood in every direction. He heard footsteps behind him as he turned. One was Danzo and another seemed to be a young genin barley around 7. He chuckled silently. The kid almost looked like him when he was that young. Sasuke turned to the boy. "Who is this?" Danzo put a hand on the boy's shoulder and smiled. "This is another student who will be training with you." The boy smiled. "It is an honor to meet you, Sasuke. I look forward to training with you." Danzo grasped the boy's shoulder lightly. "Yes, you and Sasuke will become best friends." Sasuke's eyes deepened as he faced the boy, judging him. He knelt in front of the boy and activated his Sharingan. "Let's get started then."